Hashtags are one of the most misunderstood, overcomplicated parts of Instagram that you probably waste way too much time stressing over. So today I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about hashtags and dispel a few myths so you can stop worrying about them and don't fall for all the lies being spread. Everything that I say in this video today is either coming directly from Instagram as a source, or it's trends that I've noticed in my almost 9 years of building Instagram accounts for myself and clients. And it's helped me get some pretty awesome results with hashtags like these that I'm going to throw up on the screen now. First things first, there is no perfect number of hashtags to use. We've seen Instagram tell people that they should use only 3 to 5 hashtags for the absolute best results. We've also seen Instagram tell people that if you use 8 to 12 hashtags, that is the optimal amount. Same company, same Instagram account posting this information, 2 different statements on what is optimal. Now, to add to that, with the pages that we run, we've seen awesome success on some of them with as many as 15 to 30 hashtags. The number of hashtags you use does not determine the success of your post at all, is the only accurate conclusion that we can use around how many hashtags to use. What you want to do is use highly targeted, relevant hashtags that accurately represent what is in your content. The amount of hashtags that fit this criteria will obviously vary based on what the post is. However, chances are there are not 30 highly targeted hashtags that also are not so tiny that they're a waste of time. So if you are using 30 hashtags, chances are you're adding in a few that aren't too relevant and is probably hurting your reach. My advice is use anywhere from 5 to 15 hashtags, is my opinion, based on what's working for us. Just make sure they're relevant to your content. Now, second thing I want to cover is that using the same hashtags in multiple posts will not hurt your reach, assuming they fit the above criteria, targeted and relevant. However, if you have a page that's all about sports and one day you post about golf using hashtags about golf, and then the next day you post about boxing and use the exact same hashtags, yes, you're going to run into some issues because that would be a misleading use of these hashtags. You will confuse the Instagram algorithm. When the algorithm is confused, it won't show it to anyone. Now, that was probably an obvious mistake that many of you wouldn't make, but this can happen in more subtle ways too. If you post news-based content, you may have a couple of staple hashtags like hashtag New Zealand news, hashtag New Zealand, but then the other hashtags you use in your post will be more specific to whatever the specific news event is about. Somewhat common sense, but a lot of people get a little bit too hung up on this. On the flip side, most of the content on my account, Josh Ryan, is all about content marketing and growing your Instagram. So the majority of hashtags we use are the same in every post, and we might switch 2 or 3 out depending on the topics. The third thing you have to understand about hashtags on Instagram is don't believe all of the secret hacks that you may see. Every time I load up Instagram, I see a reel with thousands of likes saying that they spoke to an insider at Instagram or a whistleblower. And if you use 9.7 hashtags on a reel that is 3.2 seconds long, you post it during a solar eclipse, your content will go viral. None of those hacks are true. Most of the time, it is someone that will make up a lie or exaggerate something because it acts as a good hook. Because if you say you spoke to someone who is an insider at Instagram and they say use this exact thing at this exact time, it's probably going to hook a lot of people to watch it, and it's probably going to perform really, really well for their account. So that's why people are saying it, but more often than not, it's not particularly accurate. Truth is, there is no real quick fix on your hashtags. You want to really focus on the fundamentals and then spend your time mastering the psychology of the hook, the magic of editing, and the art of storytelling to really level up, as well as having more interesting topics to talk about. And then you want to add the real hacks on top of it. But a lot of the times, the ones that is like a blanket statement aren't going to be as helpful. Number 4. Hashtags in your comment section is like MLS goalkeepers against Messi at the moment. They do absolutely nothing. I've been going on about this one for years, but I still see this mistake over and over, and so I wanted to clarify things for everyone. Hashtags serve 2 key purposes. One, for your content to show up on the hashtag page itself, and to show up in Instagram search. Now, since no one looks at hashtags anymore, Instagram search is the core function of hashtags. In the past, before Instagram search was really a thing, the only way you could find new content was by searching hashtags. So it was really important back in 2016, 2017, and so on to have the right specific hashtags. But nowadays, you're always optimizing for Instagram search, and Instagram only looks at your captions when it comes to search. They don't look at your comments at all. So putting hashtags in your comments is a complete waste of time. So for the sake of your Instagram reach, add them to the bottom of your caption or don't use them at all. And then the fifth and final point I wanted to cover on hashtags is they do not matter nearly as much as you think. Yes, they definitely do help your reach, and they do help you reach new people and grow your audience, and you definitely should be using them. But I've had this conversation way too many times with clients where they think using the wrong hashtag in their post is what stopped it from going viral. In the past, this may have been true. Back in 2017, when I was in high school building a bunch of theme pages, hashtags were the only way to grow. You had shout outs, you had commenting on other people's posts, and you had hashtags. I guess aside from like becoming famous outside of Instagram and then people searching you up, that was literally it. There was no reels, no home suggestions, no explore page, no suggested profiles, no SEO, no search. So hashtags were Instagram's only way of figuring out what your content was about, and it was the only way for new users to find new content. So the right hashtags were super important and could make or break a post. We literally were running tests where we would post the same piece of content on accounts that had the same amount of followers and optimize the hashtags on one of them. And the one with optimized hashtags could go viral and get 20, 30, 40,000 likes. And the one that didn't would get like 100. It was crazy, but that's not the case anymore and hasn't been for a long time. Because nowadays, Instagram's algorithm is very advanced. They have millions of data points on billions of users. They have the smartest AI programmers and algorithms to process this data, understand what is your content, and then exactly who will like it to then put it in front of them. Which means telling Instagram your post is about hashtag motivation is less relevant because they will know if it is. It's still worth including them, like I said, but don't spend all day stressing about them. Because I will literally speak to people who are changing their hashtags on a weekly basis because of the amount of reach that they are getting in their content, and they are spending hours of time focusing on it, and then they're stressing about it when things go wrong, which is just not helpful. You should be spending like 5 minutes once every couple weeks to select the right hashtags, chuck them into your content, and then focus on the things that you can control. Learning more about what you're talking about in your craft, learning how to edit better videos, posting more content potentially, working on some collaborations, or even just going and doing something completely different that you enjoy with your life. So in summary, use relevant hashtags and then forget about them and focus on your content. I have left a link in the description for the tool that I use for hashtags if you want to check it out, but please just spend a few minutes, pick the right ones, and then create awesome content. Now, if you need help learning how you can create awesome content, build your audience, and so on, I put together a free course and community, which is linked below. So you can go and check that out when you got a moment. But other than that, I will see you in the next video. And hopefully this has simplified your view on hashtags so you don't have to keep worrying about them. That's it from me. See you next time.